Welcome to yet another stupendous episode of Ndine Thaza, the only entrepreneurship reality game show in Zimbabwe. Last week, we were privileged to check out a unique entrepreneur, Rachel. She managed to get a whopping 435.5 points. Check out our Facebook for more details on her tally and total score. Today, we're meeting our next entrepreneur number 2. The next entrepreneur is Ndabezinhle Nyathi. He, for me, is the Jeff Bezos of Zimbabwe because the business he's into was the business the richest man in the world today was into when he started out. IT, particularly or specifically books on the internet. Let's check him out.
My name is Ndabezinhle Nyathi. I'm 22 years old. I'm a computer science student at NAST doing my 3rd year. I'm a programming enthusiast and a software developer. I was born in Bulawayo, grew up in Bulawayo, learned in many schools all around the country. I'm a tech startup working on my first business project at the moment. My study life at NAST has been good so far, but I wasn't satisfied with the process. After I did my introduction to programming, I was curious to know more about programming. So I set out to start looking for a big break, to just develop something that would help others, change people's lives. So I came up with a group of friends. We came together, we built this project. We've been working together ever since. My team comprises of Simo is the one who works on the design part of it mostly. I do most of the developing, the programming. Then we have Kona, he does most of the publicity and design, and he's also a programmer. Then we have Nigel, who does the financial management of the team. So basically we have 4 group of guys from NAST who came up together. We're not satisfied with the process. We're eager to do business, but we're not ready to wait for 4 years to actually complete so that we can start doing something in life. I chose to work with these guys because I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. So the parts where I feel I'm lacking, that's where these guys come up. I'm very poor at design, but I know the back-end stuff. So these guys come, they do the design. I didn't do any business studies or anything to cover that part. So I know my weaknesses in that part. So that's why we came up. Nigel came into the picture. He does all the financial management. He's actually a fiscal studies student at NAST. Then, of course, he also covers much of the social media platform advertising part of it. Mobotech is a self-publishing platform and ebook store. So we're based online. Everything we do is online. It's an e-commerce store. What we do is we sell encrypted copies of ebooks. So any authors, self-published or even aspiring authors, they come to us, we help them develop their manuscript and publish their books online. We have a website where the purchases of the books are made. Then the books can be opened through the Android version of the application, which decrypts the encryption key. We're all about anti-piracy or secure publishing. The whole origin story of Mobotech was when I finished, I'm an author myself, so when I finished writing my first book, I wanted to sell it. But because of the cost of printing and everything, I wanted an easier way to do it. So I looked into the ebook publishing. But here in Zimbabwe, we don't have such a platform that allows, because some of the platforms that are already there around, they have payment restrictions here in Zimbabwe. So we looked into creating our own local system that can be able to do that. So I didn't want my book to be able that people, if someone gets it, they can be able to share it on social media, WhatsApp and everywhere, then I get nothing out of it. So that's why we came up as a group, we discussed this idea. We've been in business for about 3 months right now. The major challenge that we identified is piracy. Many all around piracy, we always hear about piracy, but usually in music, but it's also there in books. Even these traditionally published books, people take them, they photocopy them, they distribute them in photocopied paper, which is not good. Yes, even the e-books. If I publish my book as an e-book and sell it when it's not encrypted, everyone can just get it. They share it on WhatsApp, Facebook, everywhere. But we identified that as the problem, which we targeted to solve that problem. So we developed an encryption, which we put into the documents, then we sell them as encrypted forms. So these documents can only be opened through one application. Now we have an anti-piracy dedication key. So if a user purchases a book from our website, they get a copy of the book, but that book can only be opened by that direct user based on their account, which they have to activate on their application on the phone. 3 months down the line, our major challenge so far is publicity, advertising, getting people to know about us, what we do and how we do it. That's the major problem so far. We've been trying to reach people through social media, but it's limited. We don't get to access as many authors, of course. We do some, we call it author hunting. We just go onto people's profiles. If we see someone is an author, we reach out to them, we explain to them who we are, what we do, and try them to buy into the idea of publishing their ebooks with us.
Age is nothing but a number. A young man from skies, Bulawayo, Ndaba, came with the brilliant idea of being the Jeff Bezos and creating the Amazon of Zimbabwe, an online business for books in Zimbabwe. I'm an author and I know what it means to have so many people want a soft copy of your book, but guess what? You're afraid of then getting your book being sent to you by someone you don't even know. But Ndaba has conquered that problem. Judges, how did you find that?
Brilliant. Oh, but he's not the only one.
There's something from the IT judge. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back from the break, we're going to check out the business campus and the SWOT analysis from Ndaba. Welcome back. You might be wondering, how can you be a part of this program and compete for the $1,000? It's simple. Log on to our website, www.ndinethaza.co.zw, click on application, and the rest is simple. Talk of writing books and publishing. On our business campus today, we're going to hear from an expert in publishing. So many people have information, but they just don't know how to publish it and bring it to the world. From our expert, Mr. Sibanda, check this out.
We have the author who puts ideas on paper. Artists are there to make illustrations which make visual representation of the author's idea. We have the publisher. That is where we have the editorial team, designers, and typesetters, the sales and marketing team. The work involves money. It is a business which should make profit, so that administrative and finance people should not be left out to look at the book production. There is also printers. Then it is therefore very important for entrepreneurs to identify the role they want to play in the publishing of a book. Though it is possible for one to do all himself, but it is advisable that one should approach this as a business, because there is need for one to engage people with special knowledge on these departments. The greatest monster that we have in this industry is piracy. Piracy should be tackled as in a holistic approach. Everyone should respect other people's creative work. We need to have self-pride. As a nation, people should pride themselves by buying the actual copy, not to go on to pirate someone's material. This is killing the industry. Like I said before, this is a business. People need to come up with what? Profits. If piracy is allowed to continue, we won't be able to publish those books. We won't be able to market the books. Our young artists will be discouraged and they won't be able to make money that they want to get out of this business. So we appeal to everyone as a nation that we stop buying pirated material, that we move away from stealing other people's work. Let's move forward with original books, original songs. Everything that you should do, you should remember that someone didn't sleep, was working very hard to produce that. Let's respect that. I call that Ubuntu.
The far cry in Africa today is so many entrepreneurs, so many successful people accomplishing a lot, but they're not writing it down. With Mr. Sibanda's Campus, you can now write your story and bring it to the world. And guess what? You can make more money, an extra source of income from publishing. Taking us to our next segment, we're going to now check out the pitch from Ndaba in terms of his SWOT analysis. Remember, the game show is pitching your SWOT analysis and your SWOT analysis pitch going up against the other contenders. Let's check out Ndaba's SWOT analysis.
For my strengths, I can say our strengths are, we focus mostly on security. Everyone wants to feel secure. Authors want to feel secure with their product. They want to know that they're getting money for their product which they sell. So with this encryption, we actually use the AES encryption standard. So this is one of the most recognized secure systems which other companies also use. So security and anti-piracy, we're fighting people sharing those books. So we have account dedication for every book which is published with us. Then on the second part, we're looking at online payments. We integrated the local payments. For example, everyone uses mobile payment systems these days. Then on the third part, we look at our team. Our team is a diverse team. We're in all branches in different places. So we have different expertise. Coming together, we can build a product that is viable, which works. On our weaknesses, we're looking at our store is an online store. So people need data access to access that, and data charges so far, they are quickly rising. Then also looking at rejection. People actually prefer the traditional method, reading a book rather than reading through a mobile application. Then on the third part, we're looking at our working capital. We're a personally funded company, so all the funds are coming from our pockets, so that limits us in actually growing as a company. Then for our opportunities, we're looking at expanding. We're online based, so we're boundaryless. We can expand to any country, anywhere. We just have to find and integrate our payment systems to those countries. Then we're also the first platform here in Zimbabwe. We did our research in Zimbabwe. We don't have a platform like this, so our first platform, so we have a high client base, and we can expand at any time. Another opportunity which we're looking at is actually expanding to publishing houses, extending to them if they can partner with us to actually be their sole distributor in ebooks and secure our books. On our threats, we're looking at service downtime. We're an online-based company, so if the internet is down or our system crashes, we're already down. Then another threat which we're looking at is transaction failures. If the money leaves the user's account but doesn't get to ours, that's a problem, because the reversal of charges is an extra charge on that. Another threat is people not adopting our system. With $1,000, half of it I'll spend it on advertising, because we want more clients. So we're looking at building, expanding from that. Then the other one will be to cover our hosting services and licensing online.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threat. That is the SWOT analysis. We heard from a real-life entrepreneur their SWOT analysis, and that's what competes in this show. You've heard it, I've heard it. What did the judges hear? After the break, join us as we hear what the judges thought about Ndaba's SWOT analysis. Welcome back to the show. We heard Ndaba's SWOT analysis speech, and remember, it is a competition. So now I want to hear from the judges. Judges, what are your views in terms of Ndaba's speech, and what are your scores? Judge Rose, you can take it away.
Ndaba saw a challenge and he brought a solution. I was talking earlier to Luke that I had to go onto an app store, download an app from some foreign business person who came up with an app that was novels.
Yes.
So currently that's what I'm using, and I'm so excited for Ndaba that he came up with Mobotech. How appropriate for a name.
We feel advanced in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and the security involved in it, the inscription, the anti-pirates. I mean, he nailed it. This is what I call nailing his strength, and I give him 40. And for his weaknesses, well, he lost it a bit when he spoke about data charges. And I know Luke is going to delve into it
Was it
a
not
lot.
clear?
Well, it's not a weakness as such. It might be a threat.
Okay.
And
what does he score there?
I scored him 40. And on opportunities, I would have thought he would have talked about audiobooks because people don't have time to flip over and read books. I gave him 35 there.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, yes.
And on his threats, I give him 40 because I think he nailed it as well.
Indeed. I'm tempted to go to the IT guy, but let's leave the best for the IT people. Judge Raphael, what's your take and your points, please?
I largely share Rod's observations. I think his self-intro, actually started talking into the SWOT analysis just by the outlay of his company. He was very strategic in selecting partners, knowing what they can bring, which delves into, these are my weaknesses, but I need that one to deal with that weakness. I found that excellent in his analysis.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The anti-piracy thing, the whole question of online payment for his books and services, I believe is excellent. I gave him a 44 on that one.
That's on the strength.
Yes, on the strengths. And then on the weaknesses,
For a guy who gave somebody 12.
Yeah. He was very
question.
perceptive on the weaknesses. I think when he talked about the online store issue, definitely it can be a monumental challenge. Okay, and then I gave him 30 on that one because he was perceptive, although he didn't exhaust the line, but he was perceptive. And then on the opportunities, yes, he talked of unlimited expansion, external, migration of his business. But the thing that captured my mind was publishing house collaboration. That drew a point to his favor. I gave him a 20 out of 50. And then on the threats, service downtime, internet, we all know the weaknesses that has brought to our businesses.
And what was his mark on that?
His mark was 25 out of 50.
I love actually how Judge Raphael talked about in any presentation you're making, because he was already bringing out his SWOT analysis at the beginning. Yeah. Judge Simba?
Personally, I think he was very creative and innovative. These are the type of entrepreneurs we need in Zimbabwe. And if I had my ways, I was going to give him everything he's looking for. And for that, for my strength up, I gave him 40 again.
Okay.
Yeah. But my weaknesses, I gave him 40.
Okay.
Then by my opportunities, I gave him 30. Then my threats, 25.
When these marks come from a banker, I think you can cash in on the investment there. The IT guy, do you concur with all this positivity?
Wow,
there must be some flaws.
To be quite honest with you, I'm really excited by Ndaba's business. This is my passion. This is what we are always singing about on a daily basis, But I think maybe the difference with me and the judges, they were looking at the business and not looking at his articulation of his SWOT analysis.
Wow.
I would like to agree with the judges on the first point that when he started his presentation, he already started talking about his strength.
Yes.
and his weaknesses. So already he identified his strengths and weaknesses, and he actually had a solution to that to come up with a teamwork.
Wow.
Because
so fusing your SWOT analysis into your everyday conversation is a bonus.
Already that's a strategic approach to your business.
And what's your points on?
On the points on that, I gave him
strength?
35.
Wow.
On the strength. And then
a bit reserved compared to the 40s.
Yes. On the articulation of, I have to be hard on the IT guys because those are in my field. So I need them to ramp up. And then on the weakness, I gave him 30. On the opportunities, when it comes to online businesses, the opportunities are unlimited.
I didn't expect too high here because the opportunity is there.
There is a lot of work that we can do. So I gave him a 30.
30.
Because I think he had a bit of a confusion a mix up on his articulation of his threat and his opportunities.
Wow.
Because the data charges are threat to your business. They are not your weakness.
And the other marks?
And the other marks was, I gave him 25 because he didn't really sink into the threat of the business. The digital world is a very... it's a domain of gurus. We're talking about the people, the Facebook guys. We're talking about
the Bezos and all these guys. I can actually feel the passion from this judge.
I don't know. I would like to disagree with Luke though. I think he went, especially on the threats, I think he went all out. What else can be threatening besides the transaction failures, the service downtime? That's all. And he responded by encrypting. What else do you want the
his
guy
threat
to
is
do?
simple competition. Yeah. Look, you've got another 200 entrepreneurs that are coming up, that are starting, that are also doing software development. And they can just easily come out and do the same thing. So that is your biggest threat. And how are you going to hedge yourself?
Well, I might have to now cut the judges here because this is getting heated. And you can imagine how the rest of the season is going to go. The entrepreneurs are watching. We are watching. We've heard it from our judges. And the good news is their verdict is not the final say. You are now contributing on the points by going on our Facebook page, Ndine Thaza. You go on Ndaba's post and you like the post. Your likes are going to be counted as points as well to add on to the judges' points. Now we check out the scoreboard from the judges. $529 points. I thought the 435.5 would give an edge, but guess what? Ndaba automatically goes right at the top of the scoreboard. Ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting episode of Ndine Thaza we had. We saw a young man who literally for me is the Jeff Bezos of Zimbabwe, setting up an online business that will get everyone in Zimbabwe catching on to a reading culture. Because guess what? Now we can all get our books on our mobile phones. Catch us on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Ndine Thaza on all social media platforms. Can you forget that? Absolutely not. A dynamic young IT entrepreneur all the way from Skies. That's Bulawayo. When I grow up, I want to go to Skies. Ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic show. See you again next time. And I learned from some great man. Don't get ready. Stay ready. The Juggernaut, I'm out.
Camera 1 rolling.
2 rolling. 3.
Wait.
Mine is camera 4.
3 rolling.
Come ready, come thunder.
Yes. 4 rolling.
All right.